trailer. I'm guessing it's around 30, 35 feet, but I could be wrong there. We'll see when we get there. I didn't actually like Google and pull up a picture, but just based off, I can't remember what the model number was, but it was a larger number, so usually that means a bigger trailer. It's still really cold this morning. It is getting a little bit warmer since I left about a half hour ago. It was 4 degrees, now it's saying 5. I think the feel like was like negative 12 or 13. And it definitely feels cold. Like, just, I didn't want to start my truck and like let it warm up in the driveway. And it was plugged in, so I unplugged it, started it, then backed it up into the road to let it warm up a little bit. And even after like, I don't know, 4 minutes of warming up, I started to like just kind of get moving out of my neighborhood. Even when I got onto like the main road in town, I was still well under 100 degrees on oil and coolant and transmission temp. It just wasn't warm enough idling, so I just took it easy getting towards the highway. I live about like 2-3 miles off the highway, so took it easy. But even, like I said, even by the time I made it to the highway, I was still like under 130 on everything. But I'm up to operating temp now, except for transmission still running a little bit cool, but no big deal. I'm not beating on it. I got the cruise control on. I'm finally warming up. I didn't want to make the video any sooner because I was shivering. My coffee got cold fast. But truck's warm now, so that's good. Not looking forward to being out in the cold hooking up the trailer though. I doubt it's going to be that much warmer in the next 2 hours when I get there, so bundle up, probably throw my Carhartt on, get it all hooked up. But yeah, definitely still chilly. Looks like it's going to get warmer by the end of the day though, like up into the 20s, which will feel like a heat wave compared to what we've had the last couple days. With the truck, yesterday it had, I just was picking my wife up from work, and then we went and picked up her car from the dealership, and then I let my truck sit there and idle at the dealership because the kids were in it while I was signing the papers and stuff to get it back from the service department. When I got back in it to drive home, it started to do the turbo surging, but it was like worse than I've seen it yet. So I was driving home, and normally like prior to yesterday, what would happen was when it would do it, I would feel like it was under a little extra load, and then when I would let off the throttle, it would surge after you let off. What it was doing yesterday was it was surging with each transmission shift. So it would like shift into 5th, and it would flutter or surge, and then it would shift into 6th, it would surge again. And it was a lot longer surges than before. So before it was like 4 quick surges. I think I caught it on one of the videos I made. I would say last night I was getting like 10, 12 surges sometimes after it would shift or after I would let off. In my under normal driving conditions, I was seeing like 20 to 25 foot-pounds of boost, which it should only be, like 7. So it was boosting hard. Definitely felt like it was under load. If I gave it like half throttle, it would hit like 40, 41 foot-pounds of boost, and it would like kind of spit and sputter because it was over boosting. I think it's a map sensor issue. I know I cleaned it before, and I pulled it again and it looks clean still. I think maybe the map sensor is failing. So I went ahead and I ordered a new map sensor. I won't get it though until sometime on Thursday, and I do have probably 2 loads to run before then if I can. So obviously I'm running this one. The truck's operating operating fine now. So I'm hoping that it stays that way. I'm cruising at 70, and it's only sitting at like 6-7 pounds of boost. And I'm pretty sure I'm going into a headwind, so it's doing okay. It seems like it's normal now, so I'm gonna go ahead and run it today. Obviously, I'm on my way. Hopefully, it doesn't give me any issues. If it does give me issues today, then I'll probably maybe not run tomorrow, and I'll just run one over the weekend, so that I can get that map sensor in, get it replaced. Hopefully, that's what fixes it. It kind of makes sense because I had an issue with it originally. I cleaned it, and then now it's kind of doing the same thing as it was before. I wasn't noticing a surge before, but I was on the highway, and it wouldn't have really been like under load or shifting hard, so I don't really know if it would have surged when I had to clean the map sensor after I first bought the truck. But it did feel like the boost was doing the same thing, where it was like under load, it was boosting harder, and then it kind of felt the same, like the restriction that you felt driving. So a lot of the same symptoms as when my map sensor was dirty. Like I said, I did pull it a couple weeks ago when I first started having this issue, and it looked perfectly clean. So the only thing I can really think is it might be just failing. And I did ask on like the 6-7 Power Stroke Facebook pages, and that's kind of what a couple people had mentioned, like, yeah, you cleaned it, but it might be time to just replace it. So I figure it was like $90, or it was like $100 for shipping for the Motorcraft one. So I went ahead, I ordered it. I figured for $100, I'll see if it fixes it before I go after anything more expensive, because after that you're probably looking at something like the turbo actuator, where like it's not allowing the vanes to open properly in the turbo, something along those lines. That's probably going to be a little bit more expensive. So we'll go ahead, we'll try the quick cheap $100 fix. You literally just one bolt and pull out the plug and put it back in. So I figure that's worth a shot, see if it fixes it. If it doesn't, then maybe I'll do some more work myself, or I'll get it to a shop. But I did text my tuner, and I haven't heard back. I honestly don't know that I will hear back. I don't know, he's not the friendliest person in the world, so I also don't think it's a tuning issue, just based off the fact that I didn't have any issues with the last truck. It's the same tune, but I could be wrong. But yeah, he doesn't typically respond unless you're trying to get him to tune and delete another truck where he's making a bunch of money. So I don't think he really wants to work on these trucks unless he's doing like a tune and delete, because I think he probably makes a lot more money doing it that way. Because I think I had a mass airflow sensor issue with my last truck where I just needed the wiring replaced, and again, he had never responded when I asked him if he could get my truck in to do that. So I think, like I said, as far as like being friendly, not that friendly, but for being able to get your truck in and get it tuned and deleted locally, that's kind of what you get. But that's all I really got. I'll make a video once I do the walk around with the trailer. Hopefully, I don't know. It depends on how cold it is. We'll see. But and then I may do one when we do the drop off. But first load of the week, it is the 22nd of January 2025, and we'll have 3 for this week, it looks like. So. Alright, got the trailer hooked up. It is really cold out here. -1 real. It feels like -16. So I'm just gonna do a quick video Oh man, pretty nice trailer. Let's see. No sewage kept hooked up there. Oh, let's see how big she is. 31 foot, so not too bad. Everything hooked up, locks on there, batteries on there. Ooh, it's cold. Alright, I am hooked up, headed out. It is cold, like I said in the video. It's that kind of cold that everything hurts. I had my gloves on, my hat on. I didn't put a jacket on. I just had my Carhartt hoodie, which is actually really warm. Probably should have just put my Carhartt jacket on, to be honest, but my body really wasn't that cold. My legs were. Like I'm wearing like a athletic sweatpant type thing, and yeah, they were still cold. My face was cold, but yeah, it's cold out there today. But we're getting moving. For some reason I thought I was going to Madison today. I'm actually going to up by like I think Green Bay. It's Swamico. It's a far one, farther than I thought it was gonna be. So it's fine, as long as my truck doesn't give me any issues. It does feel like it's starting to surge, and I noticed it does it after it's been idling. So like, you know, I just idled it to hook up this trailer. So I don't know if that did it. Yeah, because I'm freaking trying to get up to speed and I'm boosting at 40 PSI right now. So whatever, just idling for the last 25 minutes, it got it. Something's not right. But I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna stop and get gas, and I'll shut it off and see if like just that quick shut off resets it. Because I'm cruising at 45 right now, and I'm sitting at like 15 pounds of boost, which it really should be more like 7. So I'm gonna stop at my normal speedway and fill up, and I'll shut it off. See if just the quick shut off and restart will fix it. Although now it's shifted into 6th and it's down to like 7 PSI, so maybe it's okay. But I think I'll still shut it off anyways and just see if that helps, because you know, getting up to speed, it seems like it's lugging or having a hard time getting there without boosting like 40 PSI, which it shouldn't be doing anywhere near that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But other than that, cold, but I got the trailer hooked up. It is pretty windy today, showing like 30-mile-an-hour gusts, which should make for a little bit of a fun drive. But yeah, we got a far drive. I think it's about a 5-hour drive to the dealership. So for me that's far, but for most people that would be nothing. You know, if they're going from Indiana to who knows where, southwest, north. But for me, this is a further delivery, which is cool. It's gonna pay a little bit. This one pays $700. So I left out my house a little bit before 5. Chicago time. It's now 7:38 Chicago time. Hooked up, rolling. Should be up there about 12:45 to drop the trailer off. 1 o'clock. Home by 3:30, 4 o'clock probably. Maybe a little longer, maybe a little later than that, but for sure should be home by 5. Even with like dropping the trailer off, they're gonna do their inspection, stuff like that. I know I've been to this dealership, and I just can't recall which dealership it is, and I know once I get there I'll remember it, but I think I've only been here like one time. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully their inspection goes quick and I'm back on the road. But yeah, so not too bad, 12-hour day probably, $700. I don't think that's too bad. I'm gonna stop, fill up. I think I said that already, but at the Speedway here, I've got, it says 58% fuel, so I could definitely make it into Wisconsin. I'm trying to decide if maybe I should do that. Probably not, because I gotta shut the truck off and see if that'll reset anyway, so I might as well pull over and fill up. The only reason I'm contemplating is because I would save about 30 cents a gallon if I go into Wisconsin and fill up there. But I don't think that's a good idea with the cold and stuff. I don't really want to push running low on fuel, so I'll stop, I'll fill up, pay a little bit extra, the extra 30 cents a gallon or whatever I'm going to pay here in Indiana. Get the truck shut off. Hopefully it'll fix itself as far as the boost issue goes, and if that fixes it, then I'll probably, like, when I deliver the trailer, I'll shut it down as well, the truck, and let it reset, because it seems like that definitely does it. Like last night when I stopped to pick up my wife's car and I let it idle in the parking lot while I was signing the papers, came back out almost like it was like heat soaked and having issues. Same thing just now, I let it idle while I was hooking up the trailer, which I needed because I was taking breaks in there to warm up. Yeah, so it seems like once it sits and idles for a little bit, it ends up having whatever this issue is. So I'm hoping shutting it down, starting it back up, it's not going to have time to like actually cool down, so I don't know if that's going to play a factor into it. It's not hot by any means. Like the oil is sitting at 198, cooling at 192, so it's fine. It's not hot. Transmission's still only at like 180, that's cool. Usually it runs in the 190s, so, but I mean, I think that's just the cold weather. So it's not overheating, it's not hot, but whatever the issue is where it's idling, it seems like that creates the issue, or at least part of it. So I'm gonna shut it down, let it sit while I fill up. Hopefully whatever that does will reset it, and because I don't know, I mean, I guess once I get up to like highway speeds, if it sits at lower boost, then it won't be a big deal. But like right now at 55 miles an hour, 14 pounds of boost is pretty high for me. Normally that, in 6th gear, 55 would probably be like 7 pounds of boost. So I'm gonna get worse mile per gallon, and then B, I don't know if it's gonna create an issue. I mean, it's fully capable of running 14 pounds of boost. It's just, I don't know that you want to run it like that when it's not supposed to. But I mean, I don't really have a choice. I got this thing hooked up. It's a hot delivery. I got to get it made. Ideally, I wouldn't do that. So I'll have to decide what we're gonna do. Assuming I make it to this delivery without issues, we gotta decide if I want to run one tomorrow, or if I want to wait and for that part to come in and then just run Friday and then maybe like Saturday. But I was kind of hoping, to run tomorrow, run Friday, and then if I wanted to, I have the option to run something over the weekend, if I choose to do that. So, but the truck might make that decision for me here. We'll see. But you get a look. This is that Speedway I always talk about I go to. like I said, it's not the nicest, but the fuel price is cheaper. Somebody did mention that Speedway might not be the best fuel. I don't know. I gotta look further into that. But I'm gonna shut the truck down, see what happens, and I'll do an update and let you know. All right, we're filled up. Gonna start the truck back up, see if has any issues getting up to speed with the boost. Really didn't cool off at all, so if it has something to do with the heat that's actually in it, I don't think that this fill up, shutting it off, really is going to do anything. So we'll see, unless it's some kind of like electronical something resetting when it shuts off. We will find out once this, I don't know how long I'm going to sit here. This truck's trying to turn left out of here, which is a pretty busy intersection, so, oh, looks like he's getting a chance to get going. I won't really know probably until I get onto the road here if it's going to have an issue or not. It really wasn't shut off long, because it's anybody that's got diesel and fills up at a truck stop knows how fast those pumps fill up. They fill up quickly. Let's see. I mean, so far I'm getting up to speed. I'm only seeing like 11-12 pounds of boost under normal acceleration. It actually seems like it did fix itself. So that's kind of good to know. If it happens again, I could probably pull over and shut it off and start it back up and fix it. Yeah, I mean, it seems all right, because I'm going 50 and now I'm sitting at about 9 pounds of boost. 10 pounds of boost up this hill. Seems okay, because I think, you know, the max I'm seeing is I'm at 13 pounds up this hill at 50. Yeah, that seems like it's okay. So whatever is going on, it seems to have corrected itself, just with shutting the ignition off and starting it back up. It probably wasn't even off for like 5 minutes. So whatever it is, I don't know what's going on, to be honest. The wind, I can feel the wind right now. It's about 30-mile-an-hour gusts is what it says. I definitely feel that. So we'll see what happens there. Everything's set up here. And I did notice, so I was filling up. I only pumped in like 20 gallons. So I had like almost 60% fuel still, so tank holds 48. Like I said, I could have made it into Wisconsin, but I don't know that it's worth pushing it to save, you know, what did I spend? Like $6 extra just now. I mean, it all adds up at the end of the week, but, you know, when you're dealing with negative 15, negative 16 fuel like temp, I didn't want to push it trying to get into Wisconsin and be running low on fuel and stuff like that. I'll attach a picture on the back of this video, but I use Doc's diesel, or it's the first time using it. I was using like that XDP stuff. I think I made a video on it. Right now I'm using Doc's diesel anti-gel. I don't really notice any difference. I know a lot of people say it's like snake oil, but I like to run stuff for kind of peace of mind. I did notice there was like a lot of anti-gel stuff and diesel 911 bottles in the garbage at the gas station, so hopefully nobody's been gelling, but it kind of looks like maybe. But yeah, I'll do a video in a little bit just kind of showing how things are going. So I did not know we were supposed to get snow today. It didn't start snowing until I got closer to like Chicagoland. It's really hard to tell in the video, but it's almost like a whiteout. It's only been snowing for about half hour, and it's because it's so cold, it's like sticking to the road. I don't know if it's like, I haven't felt anything slippery, but definitely like visibility, because you combine it with like the wind, which I checked, it said there's like 36 mile an hour gusts, which are pretty high. It's making the driving conditions not so great. But I did look, it said that we're only supposed to get like less than an inch. But I don't know if it's supposed to snow like all the way up into Wisconsin, or if it's a Chicago thing. So we'll kind of see how the day goes. But I don't know if you're picking it up on the video at all, but it looks really, really cool on the road. I think it's because of how cold it's been. It's almost like a fog or a dust that's like sitting down by the road and kind of like moving around with traffic. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be because of extreme cold temps. It's just like kind of getting moved around with traffic, but it looks really cool. Again, yeah, I just want to do a quick update. The truck's been doing good. It's been about 130 miles since I filled up and haven't had any issues. I did hear back from my tuner, and he basically said, he apologized for not getting back to me right away. He said he was dealing with a lot of gelled up trucks yesterday, which I believe with the cold weather. And he basically said probably dealing with either an air filter issue, which I did change it out, but maybe I'll pull it and take a look at it and see, make sure it didn't like if it's trying to suck too much air, it might have already damaged the new filter. And if that's the case, then I know I need to order a cold air intake. Or he said, dirty map sensor, which like I said, I cleaned it already. And he said it could be a faulty map sensor, so I did order a map sensor, so I'm kind of on top of that. And he said after that, you could be dealing with more of like a mass airflow issue, or the actual turbo itself. I'm going to guess it's probably not the mass airflow, because I'm not getting a check engine light. I would think if I had like a mass airflow sensor issue, it would throw a check engine light. So I'm going to hope and pray that the map sensor that I ordered fixes my issue. Because if that's not the case, it's kind of looking likely that it's a turbo issue. But I'm going to go ahead and try to get that map sensor fixed. And if that does not fix it, I'll probably schedule with him to drop it off if I can this weekend. I'll try to milk through the 3 loads I have, and then let him take a look at it if he's willing to and if he has time, and just go from here, I guess. But as of right now, it's running fine. Like I said, when I get to my delivery in about 3 hours, I'll shut her down, and just kind of let it sit for a minute and start it back up on the way home, and hopefully she'll cruise home without any issues. And at this point, I'm going to try to continue on through the week, run the 3 loads that I have, and I just, if the mass airflow sensor fixes my issue, then I'll likely consider running a load over the weekend if I don't go snowmobiling. If it doesn't fix my issue, then I'll reach out to my mechanic tuner to see if I can get the truck in, get it fixed with him, and hopefully it's not too crazy expensive. Of course, it would be having issues when I haven't been working much and haven't been making much money. I do have money saved up in my RV transport account, but obviously, like, if I would have been working more the last 2-3 weeks, I would have more money in there, because I don't even know if it is a turbo, what that would cost. Ooh, that salt truck is throwing stuff at me. But all right, that's all I got for this video. Check in a little bit later. All right, so we got that unit dropped off. I didn't do a video of the drop off. Surprisingly, they did an actual inspection on it. that's the first time I'd been to that dealership during business hours. It's only my second time ever going there. The first time they were closed for the holiday when I dropped a trailer off. So this time they were open, and they did an actual inspection where they take their pictures and stuff like that. So I didn't want to do like a walk around video while the guy was doing his inspection. And it's really cold still, so I just got it unhooked and got out of there as quick as I could. So it pretty much snowed the whole way there. I hit a little bit of black ice on a bridge. Got a little squirrely, so that was fun. But other than that, just dealing with the winds all the way there. I used a lot of fuel. I ended up having to stop again to fill up when I was up in, I ended up stopping in like Sheboygan area because fuel was the cheapest there. So I filled up there, which I'll have enough fuel. I probably could have made it home, but then I would have been pretty much on E, and I would have been filling up where I'm at, where it would have been, you know, probably 50 cents a gallon, if not more, maybe 75 cents a gallon more than Sheboygan area. So I just went ahead and stopped, filled up. I had to use the bathroom stuff anyway, so I'll have enough fuel to get myself, no problem, back to Indiana, get it hooked up tomorrow, and then I'll probably stop again in Indiana and top off. I'll probably have like around a half a tank. I think tomorrow I'm going to Madison, so and I think I got a pretty decent sized trailer tomorrow, and then I'm pretty sure I got a small one on Friday. Both of the Thursday, Friday, I'm picking up at the Coachman manufacturer, so hopefully that goes smooth, and hopefully they don't get too much snow, because I know like Michigan, parts of Indiana are supposed to get a bunch of lake effect snow this week, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, other than that unit got dropped off. That was a rush or a hot unit, so we got it up there, got it before they closed so they can get to the client. I guess it's already sold. I haven't had any issues with the truck since this morning after I hooked up the trailer and I got on the road, it started doing that over boosting flutter. So what I did do was, when I stopped to drop it off at the dealership, I shut the truck down, because that seems like it seems like the issue comes when it's idling. So I went ahead and shut it off, and then when I got gas, I shut it off again so that it wasn't sitting there idling. So that seems to be helping it. But the map sensor is supposed to be here tomorrow, so hopefully like tomorrow night, if the weather's not too cold, I'll swap that map sensor, and then I'll be able to test it on Friday. Because normally I don't really shut my truck off when I'm working, so like, you know, basically from the time I leave my house to the time I get home, I normally wouldn't shut it down at all, but I'm just doing it this way just to try to avoid any issues. So we'll see and I'm also going to check the air filter, make sure that I'm not, even though I got a new one in there, maybe I'm sucking too much air and it like collapsed the air filter. So I might check that tonight, just to double check and make sure, because if that's the case, then I know I need to get probably an aftermarket intake system. It's not going to hurt to replace that map sensor anyways. It probably isn't a bad idea to change that anyways at 128,000 miles. So I did talk to my tuner. I think I mentioned that earlier. So I talked to him again. I told him I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to replace the map sensor. I already did the air filter. If that doesn't fix it, he said I could drop it off to him. He'll take a look at it, see, you know, if it's maybe a mass airflow sensor issue or, you know, potentially a turbo issue. But I'm definitely leaning on it's probably either the mass airflow or the map sensor, just due to the inconsistency of it happening. You know, I think if it was the actual turbo, it would just be a more constant issue, whereas, you know, a sensor, I think, would have this like intermittent issue that I'm having. That in my head, that just makes more sense. So but yeah, I'll do an update we'll do a video tomorrow. Like I said, I probably won't have the map sensor switched out then, but at least we can see if there's any issues, and we'll do an updated video just on the RV transport. So this load today paid $700. Gonna be gone for basically 12 hours. From I left the house just before 5. I'm gonna get home just before 5. Did use a little bit more fuel than normal because of the high winds I was dealing with today, and it was a decent sized trailer, so my mile per gallon was only about 10, I think 10.7 is what I calculated out. So not great, but you can do the math. $700 divided by 12 hours, see if that's worth your time. Realistically today I probably went through 125 to 150 in fuel, so normally I wouldn't go through that much fuel, but I did today. But like I said, you can do the math, see if it makes sense to you, see if it's worth, if you're not doing RV transport and you're trying to see if it's worth your time. This is one of the longer loads for me, paying $700. I think probably my average is like 560, and then I would use less fuel because I'm not going as far. But most guys, they wouldn't even, at other companies, they probably wouldn't even touch a $700 paying load. To that, a lot of those guys probably wouldn't be worth their time, because they're running out west or whatever, making $2,500 or $3,000 or whatever they're getting. But like I said in previous videos, I get to go home, I get to sleep in my bed tonight, I get to see my family, and I made $700 in a day. So does it sound nice to run a load and make maybe $3,000 or $2,000 or whatever? Yeah, it sounds nice, but what doesn't sound nice, I don't think it sounds nice sleeping in the back of my truck alone, in the cold, letting it idle, whatever I gotta do. So for me, as I've said in other videos, I just think that the company I'm working with the local loads just makes sense. I know I had a comment about local loads with I think someone said like Indiana Transport has tons of local loads. So if anybody's looking for some of those local loads, and either they talk to somebody at my business that I work with, or they want to work with the bigger company that's going to give them like the fuel discounts and stuff. It sounds like Indiana Transport would be a company that you can do that with. They're big, they give you fuel discounts, they probably give you iPass reimbursements. Just keep in mind that their pay per mile is going to be quite a bit less. I want to say, based off of some of the stuff I've heard, they're closer to like that $1.40, $1.45 mark, versus like the $2 I get now. So I also don't pay the transfer fees for the lot. I know a lot of companies are charging like 30 to 40 bucks fee, where they're taking it from the manufacturer and delivering it to their lot. They're paying the driver to do that. A lot of my loads, especially right now, I'm picking up directly at the manufacturer. So that's probably getting rid of the fee altogether, like for the company I work with. But even when I pick up from our storage lot, I haven't been charged a transfer fee. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about working for a company. If you've got that pull-out fee, or however they want to label it, and it's 30, 40 bucks, whatever, if you run four short loads in a week, that could be 120 to 160 bucks out of your pocket per week, which at the end of the month, that's like could be your truck payment. So just something to keep in mind. But another thing I wanted to talk about, and I was thinking about almost making like a separate video on this, and I may still do that, but I don't know why I was just thinking about it, but a lot of these bigger companies, you have to drop off, at least from what I gather, you have to drop off during business hours at signed off says it's good, and then you get to the dealership and it's not good, then you know that the damage happened somewhere in between, and it's either going to fall on the driver or the company, the transport company, because the dealership's just not going to accept it, or they're going to make note of it. However, they're going to, you know, handle that situation. But probably the dealership isn't paying for the damage. Manufacturer's not paying for the damage. So I just feel like the transport company could make everybody's life a lot easier if they just have like a nighttime drop-off, where, you know, you do there's enough technology now with your phone. You can have an app system where you take your pictures, do your inspection as a driver when you pick it up, when you drop it off, and you know, basically noting any issues. But it would just save a lot of headache, I feel like, and time on the drivers, where, you know, they're sitting around trying to time out their loads so they get to a certain destination by a time and stuff like that. But that's just something I was thinking about, because like with the company I work with, I can drop off to any one of the dealerships whenever I want. You know, if they're open, I can drop it off. They'll do their inspection. If they're closed, I can drop it off and just write on my inspection sheet, you know, night drop. And it's a really smooth process. I just feel like these other companies definitely could take advantage of that. I don't know, maybe it's something with the dealerships that they work with that are giving them kickback, and, you know, we're not getting that at the dealerships that we drop off at. I don't know what the case is, but I just feel like when I'm watching these videos, I feel bad for the drivers that are dealing with that. So let me know what you think on that. If that's something that you think the company should be doing, maybe you guys can bring it up to the companies you work